been driving for Quick Ride for about 2 years now. Most nights it's a simple gig. Pick up, drop off, smile, 5 stars. I've seen my fair share of weird passengers, especially doing late night shifts, but nothing ever truly rattled me. That changed on a rainy Tuesday night last November. It had been raining non-stop since late afternoon. I was working the outskirts of a small town called Windermere, about an hour outside the city. Roads were empty. People don't go out much in that kind of weather, which meant not a lot of rides. I was about to call it a night when the app pinged with a ride request. The pickup point was on Old Mill Road. I almost declined. It was a narrow, barely lit stretch lined with thick woods, and my fuel was getting low, but the payout was nearly triple the usual fare. Probably surge pricing because of the weather. I accepted. As I drove toward the location, the rain intensified. Sheets of water blurred my windshield even with the wipers going full speed. Visibility was crap. I slowed down to a crawl as I turned. Onto Old Mill. The place was pitch dark, the kind of dark where you can't see 5 feet ahead. No streetlights, just trees and fog and the thrum of rain against my roof. Then I saw her, a woman standing on the shoulder, next to a tall pine tree. No umbrella, no jacket, just a long white dress clinging to her frame, drenched. Her hair hung in front of her face, plastered down by the rain. She wasn't holding a phone, and there were no houses nearby. I only saw her because my headlights hit her directly. I pulled up beside her and rolled down the passenger window. "You called a quick ride?" I asked. She didn't speak. She just nodded slowly, almost like she was unsure. "You okay?" "You're soaked." Still no answer. She walked around the front of my car and got in the back seat. Not the front, which was odd. I checked the app. It showed her name as Emily. Destination, 42 Cypress Hollow, about 15 miles away, deeper into the woods. "All right, Emily, let's get you home." No reply. Just the faint sound of her wet clothes against the leather seats. I started driving. The silence in the car felt thick like a weight. I've had quiet passengers before, some just want peace. But this felt different, unnatural. About 5 minutes in, I tried to break the silence. "Rough night to be out walking. You live around here?" Still nothing. I glanced in the rearview mirror. She was sitting stiffly, hands folded on her lap, staring straight ahead. Her face was obscured by shadows and hair, but I could see she wasn't shivering, not even a little, and she was soaked. I was starting to feel off. I told myself I was just tired, paranoid. Maybe she was shy or just didn't want to talk. Then she spoke. Her voice was barely above a whisper. "Do you believe in ghosts?" I nearly jumped. Not really," I said, forcing a chuckle. "Why do you ask?" "I saw one once," she said. Her voice was flat, emotionless. I glanced at her in the mirror again. She hadn't moved. Still, staring ahead. "Oh, where?" She was silent for a long moment. "Here," she said finally. "On this road." That made my skin crawl. "Yeah?" I tried to sound casual. "What did it look like?" She leaned forward slightly. I caught a better glimpse of her in the mirror. Her skin looked pale, not sickly, almost bluish in the dim light, like someone who'd been underwater for too long. "It looked like me," she said. My stomach dropped. The air in the car felt colder. I laughed nervously. "Okay, now you're messing with me." She didn't laugh. She leaned back into the shadows again. We drove in silence for another few minutes. My GPS showed we were nearing Cypress Hollow, but the deeper we went, the more unfamiliar the road looked. I'd driven out here before. There used to be a few old cabins and hunting shacks, but they'd been abandoned for years. No lights, no signs of life, just trees and fog. Suddenly, the app rerouted. Instead of 42 Cypress Hollow, the pin moved. Now it pointed to end of road. Literally. That's what it said, end of road. I slowed down. "Hey, your destination just changed. Do you need me to keep going?" she whispered. I hesitated, then kept driving. The GPS now showed no street names, just a red dot in the middle of nowhere. After another quarter mile, The road ended. Just stopped. Dirt and mud beyond that, no sign of a house, just woods. This can't be right, I muttered. There's nothing here. Yes, she said quietly. There is. I turned to look at her, and she was gone. I swear to God, she was gone. The back seat was empty, wet. The indentation of where she had sat was still there, water soaking into the cushion. I panicked, got out of the car with a flashlight and started looking around, calling her name. Emily! Nothing but rain and wind. I stood there soaked and freezing, heart pounding. Then I saw something through the trees. A dim, flickering light, it looked like a candle. In the distance, I should have gotten back in the car. I should have driven off, but I didn't. I walked toward it. The trees closed in around me as I moved deeper into the woods. The light led me to an old cabin, half collapsed, roof caved in. The kind of place you see in horror movies. The candle was sitting in the window. I approached slowly. Inside, everything was moldy, decayed. Rotting furniture, torn curtains. But on the wall above the fireplace was a photograph, framed, somehow untouched. I stepped closer. It was a black and white portrait of a young woman. Long hair, pale skin, white dress, Emily. I stumbled back, heart racing. Under the photo was a newspaper clipping, yellowed with age. I squinted at the headline. Local woman found dead in flood. Body recovered near Old Mill Road. The date was from 1973. According to the article, she had been walking home during a storm and was swept away in a flash flood. Her body wasn't found until 2 days later, half buried in the riverbank. She was just 23 years old. The name, Emily Harlow. Same. As the app, I ran back to the car, slammed the door, locked it, started the engine. My phone buzzed. A notification from Quick Ride. Thanks for completing your trip with Emily. Please rate your passenger. I stared at it in disbelief. Then I looked in the rear-view mirror. And she was sitting there again, soaked, staring. But this time her face was clearer. Her skin was gray, her lips blue, eyes blank and distant. Her mouth opened slowly. Thank you, she whispered. And then she faded. I don't mean she disappeared. I mean she dissolved, like smoke in the air. I drove like a madman out of those woods. Didn't stop until I hit a gas station back in town. Called my sister. Didn't tell her everything, just said I'd had a panic attack and needed to talk to someone. That night I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face, heard her voice. Over the next few days I tried to rationalize it. Maybe I hallucinated, maybe it was a prank. Maybe someone hacked the app. But then I checked my ride history. The trip wasn't there. No record of the ride, no fare, no route. But my back seat was still damp. For days. I tried telling myself it was all in my head, until a week later I got another ping on Old Mill Road. Same spot, same name. Emily I didn't accept, but someone else might. So if you're ever driving through Windmere on a rainy night, and you see a woman in a white dress on the side of the road, don't stop. No matter what.